Hey, you bleeding hearts out there, this is Hard64, and today I'll be talking about Magic the Gathering deck tips. It's going to be a red-white vehicle dwarf deck. Yes, that's a mouthful. But, as you notice, it's a different format. I usually show videos for deck tips like where I just show you a card on the screen and tell you combos. But I want to try something different, like I said in a few videos ago. I wanted to show you a deck list instead. Now, I made this deck in 2 seconds. Please don't copy this deck. I want you to make your own deck out of it, because it's not the best deck. You know, you could probably do better things with this deck and add better cards. I just wanted to show you kind of what you could do with these kind of cards and this combo I'm about to show you. So, that being said, also, I wanted to say that I'm just going to show you tips. I'm not going to show you every card because that's going to take years, and I don't think you want to hear every card. I'm going to show you highlights, what works and what doesn't. I'm going to go over it really quickly. So let's go over the creatures first. Depala, Queen of the Army is what I named the deck, so let's start with Depala, the main card of the deck. It costs 1 converted, 1 red, 1 white, so it's a 3, it's a legendary creature, and it's a 3/3. It says, other dwarfs get a +1/+1. Each vehicle you control gets a +1/+1 as long as it's a creature. And whenever Depala, Pilot, Exemplar becomes tapped, you may pay X. If you do, reveal the top X cards of your library, put all dwarf and vehicle cards among them into your hand, then put the rest of your bottom deck randomly. So basically, this helps get stuff out fast for vehicles and dwarfs, and it helps all other dwarfs and vehicles with a +1/+1. Very good. So let's go into the next dual creature, Veteran Motorist. It's 1 red, 1 white, so it's a 2. It's a 3/1, and it says whenever it enters the battlefield, scry 2, which is interesting with Depala's third effect because it says look at the top X cards of your deck, so it depends on how much mana you pay, and you get to put all dwarfs and vehicles from them into your hand. So let's say you put this onto the field, you scry a 2 from the top of your deck, you notice, okay, there's no vehicles or dwarfs on the top of your deck. So basically, with Veteran Motorist, you can basically just be like, okay, well, I want to use Depala's effect this turn. I don't like these top 2 cards. Put it on the bottom of your deck. So it kind of helps with trying to figure out what's on the top of your deck. Very interesting. Anyways, second ability says whenever it crews a vehicle, that vehicle gets a +1/+1. Another combo with Depala that makes it really good. Because Depala states each vehicle you control gets a +1/+1 as long as it's a creature. To crew a vehicle, you need to use a creature. So if you use this creature, it already gets a +1/+1 from that. So you're basically going to get a +2/+2. Very good. Moving on to some other notable creatures, like Gear Shift Ace. It costs 1 converted, 1 white, so it's a 2. It's a 2/1. It says it has first strike, and it says whenever it crews a vehicle, it gains first strike until the end of the turn. Very good. So let's say you crew a vehicle that costs 2. You basically use Veteran Motorist and Gear Shift Ace. So it's going to get a +1/+1 and first strike. That's very interesting. Plus, if you have Depala on the field, it's going to get another +1/+1. You can see where the combos lie here. Very good. So those 3 creatures, very solid together. Now, I'm not going to go over this creature so much. This is a nice creature to add if you want to go with Depala. It's not too amazing, but it's really good, though, because it has flying lifelink. I like it. And vigilance, so basically you can attack. You don't have to tap it. You have to use it to defend the next turn. Toolcraft Exemplar. I want to go into this real quick because I thought it was a little interesting. It costs 1 white. It's a 1/1, and it says at the beginning of your combat, you basically, if you have an artifact, this gets a +2/+1 until the end of the turn. But if you have 3 artifacts or more, it also gains first strike. So if you have this on the field with Depala, she already gives all other dwarfs a +1/+1. This is the dwarf, so it gets a +1/+1. So technically, it's going to get a +3/+2 if you have an artifact on the field. That's pretty good. So it's going to become a 4/3 just for having it on the field. That with an artifact, that's pretty good for the cost of 1. Now you could make maybe adjustments to this deck. Like you could be like, oh well, I want to have like 4 of these because they're really good with her on the field. Sure, go for it. But you just don't forget the main purpose of these kind of decks is to have pilots to crew the vehicles basically. And don't get me wrong if you're confused. No, you don't need a pilot where it says pilot on the card name. No, any creature can pilot a vehicle. Anyways, let's go into vehicles actually, because that's what's we're really talking about here. So we have Fleet Wheel, Cruiser, and Smuggler's Copter. I'm going to go into Smuggler's Copter first because it's the lower costing one. It costs 2 converted. It's a 3/3. It has flying, and it says whenever this attacks or blocks, draw a card. If you do, discard a card. And it says crew 1. So you only need 1 creature to crew this. Let's say you have Depala on the field, and you crew it with Veteran Motorist. That means this is going to get a +2/+2 right off the bat. And that's amazing. It has flying with 5/5. Basically attacking directly, and you get to draw a card out of it, and if you do discard a card, that's pretty good. That's just really good. So that's another combo. Now the other vehicles, Fleet Wheel Cruiser, costs 4 converted. It's a 5/3. It has Trample and Haste, and it says whenever Fleet Wheel enters the battlefield, it becomes an artifact creature until the end of the turn. So basically, instead of having to crew it when you put it into the field the first turn, it becomes a creature itself. So that's pretty good. So you can basically attack over, and it has haste, so again, you can attack with the same turn. That's pretty awesome. But let's say you do crew it. Its crew cost is 2. Let's say you have 2 Veteran Motorists on the field and a Depala. That means it's going to get a +3/+3. Yes, that's pretty amazing, because Veteran Motorist, again, says when it crews a vehicle, it gets a +1/+1 until the end of the turn, and this one says when a vehicle becomes a creature, it gets a +1/+1. So that's pretty awesome. This is going to get a +3/+3. Or you could go the route of 1 Veteran Motorist and 1 General Gear Shift Ace. I don't know why I said General. Gear Shift Ace, which gives it a first strike, and then you get basically a +2 with these. And then so basically it's going to become a +2/+2 with first strike, trample, and haste. That's pretty good. But it depends on the situation. Say you don't need to, you're not really going up against a creature. Maybe you're about to attack directly. I'd suggest crewing it with 2 of these instead. Anyways, that's all the vehicles for this. Now, other cards that go with the vehicles, we do have Key to the City. Now, why does this go with the vehicle? Well, it costs 2 converted. It says tap this card, discard a card. Up to 1 target creature can't be blocked this turn. So you can basically attack directly with one of your creatures that you can use this on. Very amazing card. Very. And it says whenever it becomes untapped, you may pay 2, draw a card. So on your untap phase, you untap it, you pay 2, draw a card. Very good. So you can combo that with any of your... I would suggest using it with your vehicles because you can attack directly and do a lot of damage. Or maybe with Toolcraft Exemplar because it's going to have a lot of buffs, depending on your situation. So other cards that are notable that I want to go into is basically Build to Last, which says it costs 1 white. It gives target creature a +2/+2 until the end of the turn. If it's an artifact creature, it gains indestructible. So to add to that synergy that's going on with all these cards, basically you have, let's say you have, say you want to go into a Fleet Wheel Cruiser. You just want the more damage. Or say you want to be more careful and have a flyer. But let's just talk about Fleet Wheel Cruiser. Let's say you crewed it with 2 Veteran Motorists and you have Depala on the field. That's a +3/+3. Plus you play Built to Last on it, which gets a +2/+2. You can see where this is going. It's going to be a high racking number. And if you played Key to the City, you're going to attack directly and do a lot of damage. Again, combos that you can play. Now, a fast way to get vehicles onto the field without paying their cost is Refurbish. But the thing is, I put 3 of these in here. I would have only put 2 because they cost 3 converted and 1 white, so that's a 4. That's kind of hefty. But it says return target artifact from your graveyard to the battlefield. So this is really good because say if you have an artifact that costs like 11 or something, like Metalwork Colossus, you can get that onto the field for paying only 4. That's pretty good. So again, I threw this deck together real quickly, so that's why 3 doesn't seem right. But you have cards that get it into the graveyard vehicles like Cathartic Reunion and Tormenting Voice, which basically Tormenting Voice is the same cost as Cathartic. And it says discard a card an additional cost to this and draw 2, but this one says you have to discard 2 cards instead and to draw 3 for the same cost, which is kind of weird, but very good. Let's see. There's Built to Smash as well, which is a little bit stronger than Built to Last because it gives you a +3/+3 instead of a +2/+2. But if it's an artifact, it gains Trample as well. But let's say you have 2 of these in your hand. The combos are endless. I'm sure you guys can make even crazier ones too. Well, I hope you enjoyed this deck. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, if I messed up on anything, or if I forgot an effect. And subscribe to see more videos like this in the future. Anyways, I'll see you guys next time.